Hey guys, it's Jason. I hope you're all doing well. My next video I want to focus on the NL teams, the National League today, and what they need to do or moves that they can do to complete their offseason. Each team has, specific positional needs, and based on what's available as free agents and what we know might be available in trades, I want to go over each team and make some suggestions as to which moves each team could make to kind of complete their offseason. Some teams have already been pretty aggressive this offseason. Some teams have not. So one of the suggestions I'm going to make, I think, are good solid moves that they could make to get better, to put themselves in a better position to be better than they were last year. Before I do that, in the description on my last video, you'll know I went over the top 10 rotations in Major League Baseball right now, based on where they're at right now before any more moves are made. I do think there will be a couple of moves that will be made by other teams, which might shake up that list, and in which case I will make an updated list. But I did make two omissions. I did not include Marcus Stroman on the Mets, and I did not include Jose Barrios on the Minnesota Twins. That's my fault. I apologize. That's on me. I did note that in the description of that video, but I just wanted to point that out today and say my bad. So that won't happen again. Before I go to the lab, if you're new to this channel, please click that subscribe button. Even if you don't plan on watching all of my videos, that's okay. I still would appreciate your support of the channel. And if you do enjoy the content, please click that thumbs up. And I say this in other videos, the more YouTube or the more likes the videos gets, the more subscriptions the channel gets, the more YouTube shares it without the community. And my goal is to create one of the better and bigger baseball channels out there. And from a regular dude made by a diehard fan for the fan. That's it. So my goal is to compete with the big dogs. So I hope that you do enjoy the content, and I really appreciate those that continue to watch and make suggestions down below. And like I said, I keep this open dialogue, whether it's good or whether it's not so good. Your feedback is still welcome and appreciated. I respond to all comments. I do recommend, or I do encourage, to keep it respectful. I did have to block somebody who was being very disrespectful and just rude. So. But I try not to do that. I try to give people an opportunity to have their dialogue and their say, because everybody's opinion matters. So as long as we keep it respectful to each other, we're all good. So I just want to point that out. So why don't we go over to the lab and let's go over the teams. All right. I got the whiteboard up already. There we go. All right. So let's turn this around a little bit. Let's go over each team. All right. National League today. My next video, I will go over the American League teams. So, Washington Nationals. They've already brought in Will Harris for the bullpen, which I think was a good move. And I think the last move that they could do would be signing Josh Donaldson to a deal. They have a four-year, $100 million offer on the table already, and other teams have four-year deals as well. I don't know if it's $100 million. The rumor is he wants $110 for four, but who knows? I think it might come down to Washington or Atlanta, but we'll see. Philadelphia Phillies, I think they could do a couple of moves. They can bring in Todd Frazier, local guy, for third base, because I don't think they're going to wind up with Josh Donaldson, and that they did not do what I thought they might do, which is sign Anthony Rendon. So Todd Frazier will still be a serviceable guy, a solid veteran player. He's an East Coast guy too, so he's a local dude. Sam Dyson as well, and Pedro Strop for the bullpen. So two more bullpen pieces to complement their starting rotation. Atlanta, I think they should make two acquisitions. They've already been pretty aggressive this offseason. They made some solid moves. But I think they're in a position to acquire Chris Bryant for third base if they do not bring Josh Donaldson back. They definitely have the farm and the prospects capital to do it. And I think they can make an acquisition of Clint Frazier from the New York Yankees to solidify an additional outfield piece, a young, controllable player who can hit and who would be a very good outfielder for them. And the New York Mets, I think they're in a prime position to acquire Starling Marte from the Pittsburgh Pirates. That would be their one move to complement all the other moves that they've already made. Miami Marlins, I still think there's a bunch of moves that they can make, all incremental. But Charlie Culberson, outfielder, Juan Lagares, position player. I think they need to take a flyer on Felix Hernandez. I think he might discover a rebirth like Anibal Sanchez did with the Washington Nationals. I think if he goes to Miami in a low-key environment, he's a veteran pitcher. I think he still has a couple of years to offer of solid pitching, and I think he will complement the young guys extremely well. Chad Bettis and Tony Sipp for the bullpen. So incremental moves, but still, Miami's on the. They only have one way to go, and that's up. So let's go to the National League West now. In the Los Angeles Dodgers, I think they're going to make one or two big trades. They're either going to acquire Mike Clevinger from the Cleveland Indians or acquire Mike Clevinger and Felix Lindor in a huge blockbuster trade. If they acquire just Clevinger, then I think they're in a prime position to acquire Nolan Arenado from the Rockies. There's talk about him being available. It sounds like there's a 50-50 chance. I think they're in a position to make one or two huge moves. So it could be one of those two or one of those three. San Diego Padres, I think they're in a prime position to acquire Noah Syndergaard from the Mets. Now that the Mets have depth in their rotation with Stroman as well as Porcello and Waka, they can afford to trade Syndergaard and get a very good package in return for him of prospects. And Daniel Hudson, who was a year ago, was on a minor league deal, was injured, and then wound up closing the last out of the World Series. So he had a journey for a year. But I think he'd be a good spot to, he'd be in a good position to bring in for the San Diego bullpen. Arizona, Ryan Zimmerman for first base. Carlos Gonzalez, former Colorado Rocky, and Robbie Erlin for the bullpen. A couple positional guys and a bullpen piece. And again, these are all based on their positional needs for what they need for the rest of the season. Okay, they have addressed certain moves, and they have not addressed certain moves. So, San Francisco Giants, Drew Smyly. They can bring in a starter to replace Madison Bumgarner. It's obviously not going to have the effect of a Bumgarner, but I think he'll still be serviceable. Colorado Rockies, Jonathan Lucroy for catcher. Greg Bird, I think he'd be a good prime candidate. He's got that power. If you put him in Coors Field, he stays healthy, give him a chance to play maybe first base, I think he can hit a lot of bombs in Colorado. And Jorge Bonifacio, another position player. Okay? And last but not least, the NL Central, with one of the more active divisions. Chicago Cubs, former Red Sox Brock Holt. Kevin Pillar, another position player. I think they could bring in Matt Harvey. They seem to do well with guys who have trouble. Just the Houston Astros seem to do well with guys who have trouble and need a change of scenery, and they wind up having a rebirth as a pitcher. I think Matt Harvey would be a good candidate there. And Ryan Burr for the bullpen. Milwaukee Brewers, Aaron Loup for the bullpen. Logan Morrison, position player, infielder. And Wilmer Flores, another infield position player. Aaron Loup, especially if they wind up trading Hader, which we don't know what they're going to do right now, but either way, you either replace Hader or you add to him. Okay. Cincinnati Reds, I think they'd be in a good position to bring in Jose Iglesias for the bullpen and need a shortstop since they did not sign Didi Gregorius or any other shortstop. He'd be a good one. And Nicholas Castellanos, I think he'd be a good outfield person to bring in, and both of them would really solidify that lineup and add to moves and the other moves that they've already made. Pittsburgh, Matt Wieters, former Baltimore Oriole, I think he'd be a good candidate out in Pittsburgh for catcher. Cameron Maben and Carlos Gomez, a couple of position players, outfielders, rotational guys, but solid veterans. They can still hit, and I think Pittsburgh making a couple more incremental moves would be a good thing, especially if they trade Starling Marte to the Mets or anybody. And the St. Louis Cardinals, last but not least, I think they should make one of the blockbusters of the offseason and acquire Mookie Betts. If you look at my my St. Louis Cardinals video, team breakdown, that's one of the propositions I have, acquiring Mookie Betts. So I would definitely look into it. They have the capital to do it, and Mookie Betts would be a game changer for the Cardinals and really put them towards the forefront of the Central. So this is my National League breakdown. Let me know what you think. Put some comments down below. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up. And again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I really would appreciate it. And to my regulars, you guys are the best and gals are the best. I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Keep an eye out for the next video. The one after this, I'm going to break down the American League teams and what I think they should do, what they can do the rest of this offseason to complete kind of what they've done so far. So have a great week. Let's root for our team. Enjoy good health. I'll talk to you next time.